favor and not applaud until the exercises are done. Because if the ball goes down, or just before, he gets up and he's going to the point. So please, no clapping until the ball goes down, okay?
Ring. Out. Push. Go ahead and pick up.
And then we have Mark handling Brooklyn. Very spirited dog, excellent team to watch. They make a very nice picture to watch, although there are some technical problems. In the free healing and throughout most of the obedience, the dog's energy, and part of what makes it a really good picture or fun picture to watch, but it's technically incorrect. The dog is hopping and at times slightly vocal. The top line needs to be much more flat throughout most of its healing. Going downfield in the free healing, off and on, it hops a little bit more or less, and at times it's leaking a little bit in that it's vocalizing slightly. The first about turn is executed as a tight left turn. In the change of pace, the healing goes into an excellent. Dog goes flat, moves right along with you, and makes the transition from fast to slow with no fault. Both right turns. Here, the dog is tight and close, but it slightly lags. And in the short leg of healing between the right turns, the dog is slightly lagging. The head is on your thigh. The second about turn is the same comment. It needs to be executed more of a pivot and a tight left turn. The sit and left into the group are correct, and then going through the group, the dog is just very slightly lagging. Overall, though, the healing remains in the good category. Sit out of motion, slight hopping in the development of the exercise. Very fast to sit on command, remains sitting correctly with good attention to the handler until picked up. This falls into the very good category. Down with recall, slightly lagging and hopping in the development of the exercise. Command to go down goes down very fast, remains down quietly until recalled. The recall is fast, spirited, and direct. The front and the basic position are correct. This is a high, very good exercise. Stand while walking. Slight hopping again and development of the exercise. At the command to stand, the dog locks up, excellent. Remains standing correctly until picked up, but then when given the sit command, sits slightly slow. It's a very good exercise. Retrieve on the flat, slightly vocal and needs to be more calm, waiting to be released as the handler throws the dumbbell. Very fast out to the dumbbell, very fast coming back. The grip and the carry while the dog is moving are correct, but then as the dog starts to come in to present the dumbbell to the handler, there's a light touch, and then the grip needs to remain firm until asked to release. Low, very good exercise. Retrieve over the scaling, over the 1 meter hurdle, slightly vocal in the basic position, needs to remain overall more calm. When released, very fast out, is direct to the dumbbell. Very fast coming back. The grip here, though, should be slightly more calm and more firm, especially right as the dog sits and it's up to you to present the dumbbell. It still remains in a very good category. Retrieve over the scaling wall, more calm in the basic position. When released, very fast up over the scaling wall, direct to the dumbbell. Immediately turns, comes back with very good speed over the wall, coming down the back side of the wall, and then as it comes up to present the dumbbell to the handler, the grip needs to remain more firm and more calm. The front and the basic position are correct. This is the highest good. In the send out, the dog's slightly vocal in the development of the exercise. When released to go out, goes out very fast. Should go down just slightly faster to be absolutely without fault. The pickup is executed correctly. This remains a very good exercise. Long down under distraction is excellent today. Very good work, 90 points.
Here. Brooklyn, here. Brooklyn, here.
Okay, our next IPO2 team for protection, marked handling Brooklyn. Search for the helper. The dog's very well directed, holds very good speed through the search. Just comes out of blinds 4 and 5, just a little bit wide, but the exercise remains in the very good category. Then the hold a bark, immediately entering the fine blind. The dog shows a good level of focus on the helper. Starts off with very continuous barking. Should have a slightly higher overall level of aggression and intensity to be in the highest of ratings. And then towards the end of the exercise, as I call the handler in, at times the dog stops barking, and then when the handler is on the call out line, the dog is still engaged with the helper but has stopped barking. The call out is executed correctly. This is a good exercise. In the repositioning for the escape is done correctly. The dog shows good obedience and stays down until released. When released, comes into the helper quickly, but needs to have a much more full grip and needs to make a stronger attempt at slowing or hindering the helper. The out is executed correctly, and then the guarding should have a higher overall level of intensity to be in higher ratings. This is a high good exercise. In the defense, the dog immediately counters the helper's attack. The grip here is very full, but it should remain slightly more firm and calm during the pressure phase and stick contact. The out is executed correctly, and then we see continuous barking, but it should also, again, have a slightly higher level of intensity to be in the highest of ratings. The side transport, or the dog is unaffected by the handler coming into the picture, although the guarding and the barking does slow and stop, but the intensity and focus on the helper still remains good. This is the highest of good exercise. The back transport, the distance and position is correct. Excellent exercise. Attack out of back transport, the dog's very fast into the man. Here there was slight contact between the dog and the helper, but the dog remained full and firm on the grip of the sleeve, handled the pressure correctly. The out here, though, was very slow, and then we see a higher level, overall level of intensity in the guarding, but again, the barking needs to remain slightly more continuous throughout the remainder of the exercise. The side transport is executed correctly. This is a very good exercise. Secondary obedience downfield is done correctly, and the dog is calm in the watch position until released. When released, comes downfield with a good moderate amount of speed, but then does not jump to engage the helper, actually runs by to the left side of the helper. Then as the helper reattacks, the dog immediately does engage. Here, though, the grip initially should be slightly more full. It then goes completely full. It remains firm. The out is executed correctly. The guarding should have a higher overall level of intensity and more continuous barking all the way through the exercise. And the final side transport is executed correctly. This is a highest of unsatisfactory exercises. Today, courage and hardness is in the pronounced category. It's good work at 83 points.